it's been a challenging time, I think, for a lot of businesses, regardless at the level of your business, whether you're a startup or if you're an established brand. I think it's been a very challenging time. I think maybe the silver lining is that it's given us a moment to kind of step back and really reflect on our business model and see if we're going in the direction that we're wanting to be going in, or if where's the room to kind of improve what we're doing, and what opportunities are we not exploiting. So that was something that I think especially the lockdown period, I think gave us a lot of time. As much as I'm sure a lot of people didn't like so much time, but the benefit of that time was that you could really reflect on your brand. This was the time that we had an opportunity to really, really like dive in and really listen to our clients and see what they're looking for and analyze the market, analyze not just the local market, but the regional market, the continent, even internationally, to be able to see, like, looking back on the last 5 years of our brand, what can we be doing in this time? And I think what we learned a lot about is that the domestic market is a huge opportunity for us. It's always been the market that's been withholding our business, but it was also, we noticed that sometimes you get fixated, especially when you're in the growth period of your business, especially in our industry, we get a bit focused on export. How do we grow the brand outside of our home country, or, you know, that kind of mentality. So I think for us, it was trying to step back and say, you know what, this is a time where borders are closed. So we really need to be able to make sure that we are 100% servicing the local clientele. And that's what allowed us to make the changes and say, okay, you know, there's certain categories that maybe we're not investing enough in. And that was what we saw as in home. Home was a category that we've always had, but we maybe didn't invest the same way that we were investing in our apparel category. So this was an opportunity to further invest in that category. And then on top of that, offer interior services. It had been something that kind of informally, we had always been asked to do different projects in interiors, but it was something that we were always kind of a bit hesitant about. But after the lockdown, especially, it was the thing that we had so many asks that we were like, you know, let's formalize this part. And this is now another opportunity for us to grow our business by adding this other category. So that was something that we felt was really important from listening to our customers. And then additionally, especially as a brand that we're really trying to push Made in Rwanda, this is the core kind of value of our brand. We wanted to make sure that we're finding different avenues that we're able to promote that. So having a cafe gave us a space where we can promote not just Made in Rwanda apparel and accessories, but now we can also go into food and beverage and be able to promote premium Made in Rwanda brands across sectors.
I'm wondering, in terms of using this period in time, what steps or actions can startups, or even those in the creative entrepreneur space, take during this period to adapt their business to this new changing reality? Because we realize that it's not as business as usual anymore, and so we're seeing just the large take up with e-commerce. We're seeing things going digital. So I'm wondering, in terms of like, what are some concrete steps or actions that startups or entrepreneurs could take during this time to adapt their business?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is like exactly like what we did, is really to reflect. I think reflect on your business model, see what no longer works in this new time and what this new world looks like. Whether it's if you're not engaged online, this is something that you need to do. Things like that, I think, is really important, is to be able to analyze exactly what it is that you're lacking, that no longer essentially works right now. So I think really reflecting and being flexible. I think when we have very fixated vision of our business, sometimes we're not flexible, especially when it comes to a lot of change. I think you have to be really flexible and be able to adapt your thinking first and foremost to be able to implement. And the other thing I would really encourage all businesses is to not stop. I think the thing right now is to it's not get overwhelmed with the amount of change that's happening, but keep pushing whatever it is that you're, whether it's a service, whether it's a product, keep staying engaged with your customers. Even if, let's say, at the moment you're not operational, it doesn't mean that you cannot still be connecting with your customers. I think that's something in hindsight, I think looking back on the lockdown period, I think we could have stayed engaged a lot more, especially online with our clients. We did put a big push after the lockdown was over, but I think it could have been it was a missed opportunity to not be engaged with our clients and our customers worldwide during the lockdown, share more about our mission as a business, share more stories about our brand. I think that could have been really important. So I would also encourage businesses that have yet to be able to be fully operational at the moment to still engage with your customers in this time. I think that will help to keep people also, keep your brand at the forefront of their minds.
I'm in a group of great entrepreneurs in Africa, and we, all of us are the winners of Jack Ma's initiative in 2019. And we've been having conversation about what we're doing right now. And these are amazing entrepreneurs, and all of us don't have answers yet, at least. And I remember sitting in the lockdown and thinking, oh, we have to come out of the lockdown with an answer, with a strategy, with a, of course, you have to come up with a business plan for sure, a new completely business plan. But one thing that we all sticked on was to stick on our business model, because there is a reason why they worked. We didn't really try to diverge from what we're doing right now and come up with new things. But however, we learned how to innovate on top of what we have been doing for the past few years. So whether it's using technology, whether it's adapting new strategies in the business plan, whether it's, you know, rethinking the numbers you were so ambitious to achieve in the next few years, those things were done, but touching the business model was a no-no for us. At least for my business, it was a no-no for us, because it is something that we understand has an impact on way more people in the future. I mean, we're looking forward to meet at least, train at least 10,000 people in the next 5 years across 10 countries of Africa, and being there physically and all that. So that's gonna be, that cannot change for us at least. And when it comes to trying to solve problems, of course, everybody was affected, especially small businesses, especially businesses like ours that are affected also by tourism. Tourism was very hit in Rwanda and in Africa in general. I mean, in the whole world in general. And that's a huge, I would say, sector that affects a lot of subsectors in any economy. So we had to rethink, of course, online strategies. We're not online. We're not on 3 different platforms then. We're on just one. But the lockdown, I mean, the pandemic happened, and we're on 3 right now. So that is something that we started in 2020. There are so many things that went wrong, but there are also so many things that went right. For example, right now, we're taking time to train our team in the best way possible so that they understand what we're going through and how to be ready for such days once again if it happens, even if I'm not there anymore or someone else is not, someone important is not there anymore. And that has been such a learning process for us. And being able to keep people employed is such a big deal for a small business. With no help, with I would say little of help, and being on lockdown for such a long period of time, and even after the lockdown, you're not really performing as well as you were performing in 2019. So I would say that there's so many solutions to take right now, but I would be lying if I say, oh, now we have a solution and we are going to adapt this model and we're going to be running away with it. But what I know is that we're not going away from the social impacts we've been making. We're not running away from the business model that we created for the past 7 years. And there's a reason why it worked for such a long time. So we cannot be shaken by 1 or 2 years. For me, it's just like a simple philosophy, which is I have nothing to lose, which is like something young people should always adopt especially when you're starting a small business or when you're starting a startup. When I started UZURI, I had zero money. I'm gonna be honest with you, zero. I did not have a job. I was at university. I was 21 years old. I was not really, it was like, there's nothing to lose. So being able to say that in 2013, the first message that came into my mind was like, if you keep the business open for the next 1-2 years, what do you lose? And I just searched. Of course, it's in a different way. Now there's so many more risks, but I realized that if I keep it open, there's so much more to gain than what I can lose. So it also takes a really strong mindset and understanding the importance of the business you're running in a particular time. Going back to UZURI KNY, right now, of course, without forgetting that we're also a business. We're a for-profit business with an integration of a social impact in our business model. And that is something that came, I would say, accidentally, but also I would say it was necessary. It's just impossible to exist today as an entrepreneur without having a social impact, especially in Africa. There is no drive of making money without changing communities. But of course, for you to be able to do it, you have to be sustainable, you have to be profitable. Because right now, I think the social entrepreneurship is also looking so much into making themselves sustainable. And it comes that companies like ours have done it so well without even thinking about it, so that we are kind of a hybrid in the middle. We meet everybody in the middle. So locally, we have established retail stores. Right now, we have 3 retail stores, beautiful retail stores. We create amazing space so that people can buy our products in Kigali. We're also established in Nairobi. Right now, we're online. We have created our own small online platform where you can just purchase the products, and we're gonna send it in like a few days. Or even locally, people are starting to understand shopping online, especially if you have established a number or a collective of different types of customers.
Things that I think would really help a business, just looking at our own experience. We've actually, right now, we power maybe about 100 businesses, just getting them online right now from just the e-commerce side of things. But we do have ERP solutions that we also offer. And the first thing that I would say is, as a business, first of all, remain focused in terms of your mission and why your business exists. Understand what that core vision is, and then look at what businesses that are similar to yours are doing in terms of technology. How are they leveraging technology to be able to achieve that mission? And with that information, contextualize it by understanding your customers, but also your business environment. So like those 3 things for me, I feel are so core in understanding how to really use technology to your advantage. Who in my industry is leveraging technology to really create an impact? What can I learn from them? And how can I apply those lessons in a way that makes sense for my context, for my customers, but also for my business environment? Because that's a huge one, and we could unpack that. But just briefly, that's the advice that I would give any small business looking to use technology.
So I guess now looking at startups, and so we have, like in the diaspora and also there on the continent, we have lots of startups that have been starting either during this period or for the last, few years. And maybe some of them have had, traditional brick and mortars, or maybe they have started a digital platform. But I guess as we're seeing the market sort of react, and I guess looking at this, this topic that we're talking about in terms of resiliency, and what steps and actions can those entrepreneurs take in terms of how to be digitally resilient for the future? Also, given also taking the fact that we don't all know the future, because obviously no one predicted that COVID was going to happen. So just saying that as like a caveat. But given what we know right now, maybe what we're thinking in terms of like, let's say, Industry 4.0 and all of that, what steps or actions can startups really take now to really be intentional about building digital resiliency, so that we're not getting to a stage where we're just being completely reactionary, where we're being ahead of what's going to be upcoming?
No, that's a really good question, and I can think of maybe two to three really key steps that a business could take. The first, like I mentioned, just educate yourself about technology out there that's relevant to your industry and what you're trying to accomplish in regards to your vision. And with that, maybe come up with some sort of technology strategy or roadmap. That's going to be very helpful for you, because that will save you from a lot of heartaches from applying technology in ways that don't necessarily make sense for your business, but also when things like COVID happen, you don't have a plan B or C, but with a strategy, you're able to sort of, factor in all those sorts of risks. So educate yourself. There's no shortcut to that. I'm going to be honest with you. There's no shortcut to that. You have to educate yourself about the relevant technology in your industry and come up with some sort of strategy to, help you make the most of it. Strategy, roadmap. And with that, start lean. You don't have to go get some complex system, end-to-end, whatever, just to get started with technology. Look for lean ways for you to get started. And, we in the technology space, we have what we call software as a service. And many of you may already know what that is. Start with platforms like that, where you could, start to experiment with a few elements of what you think you need and grow from there. And just keep repeating that cycle, keep educating yourself, have a technology strategy, do it in a lean way and grow from there.